So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Glenoo Gardens. I'm in the meadow this morning, and I just took a little walk through the meadow a little while ago, and I just thought I would come back and show you just how much butterfly life there is in the meadow this morning. It's just incredible. They are peacock butterflies, and they're pretty much everywhere. Almost every flower has a peacock butterfly on it. They're particularly focusing on the devil's bit scabious this morning. And as you can see, I mean, it looks a bit like a sea of cornflowers. It's mostly kind of purpley blue and yellow, and that's the devil's bit scabious, which kind of remind me of cornflowers. And the yellow is cat's paw. But you can see they're just going from one scabious flower to another. They're just loving it. And there's bees and hoverflies and other things. There's a bee and a butterfly on the same plant over there. It's just wonderful. It makes me think that I must be doing something right. To be feeding, if not myself yet, that's the plan, to be feeding all this insect life. So I felt so happy. Earlier in the year, there were a lot of meadow browns. They lasted about 2 weeks or so. The meadow was full of them, and then they disappeared. And now we're into the peacock season. So I'm just treading very carefully on the edges of the meadow. I don't like to crush the plants. Yeah, they're beautiful. Makes me very happy. So it does. To be able to witness all this insect life that is gracing me with its presence in my garden, in my meadow. All I did here was nothing, basically. I just moved into Glenoo Gardens and let this meadow just be a meadow. I created a few little grass paths here, and so there's like maybe three grass pathways through the meadow. Looks like something else has traveled down there. They didn't use my path, or they used it for a little bit and then they've cut off through there. That could be deer or badger or hare. I don't know. I've seen deer, I've seen badgers, I've seen hares passing through. We had leverets nesting here last year in this long grass, and actually when I was getting a friend to make the paths, they trimmed the paths for me, so that I could mow them afterwards. I've just kept them down by the mower since then. But he noticed the leverets when he was strimming, so we halted the strimming, and they kind of dashed over there, closer to the bank over there, and just hid in the long grass. So then I read that I looked them up, and I read that the mothers leave them during the day until they're big enough to travel with her, and she returns at night and feeds them. So next time I came over to this part of the meadow to have a look, I couldn't see them, and I hoped that she had found them, and that they were now big enough to travel with her. I don't like disturbing things, you know. As little disturbance as possible. So right now I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. There are hundreds of butterflies. Persia is chasing them, but she hasn't caught any, thankfully. We're not meant to disturb the wildlife, Persia. We have to restrain ourselves. Persia's function here is company for me. She's turned out to be very good company, but she's the caravan cat. There's a caravan over there. She's supposed to keep the mice out of the caravan, and she does. But obviously, she catches. I see her with the odd shrew in the garden, in the meadow. She finds them in the long grass, so she does. I was a little reluctant to introduce a cat because, you know, I knew she would have some effect on the wildlife. Things like leverets, little mammals, birds, of course. She doesn't very often seem to catch birds. They seem to get away quite well. But she definitely finds the shrews. I guess they're maybe a little slower or something. She sits and she watches for little twitches in the long grasses, and then she jumps in there. So yeah, the meadow basically was mowed, I suppose, for the last time, maybe the year before last, before I bought the place. And I haven't done any other kind of maintenance. I made the grass paths, and I let it grow, and I let it, you know, just drop or flop. Apparently that's meant to be very good for barn owls, because and I don't know if there are many in this area, but apparently when the grasses and everything kind of die back in autumn, it creates little tunnels, and then the little mammals like the shrews and the mice and stuff, they live in those kind of matted areas of vegetation, dying vegetation, and it makes for a good hunting ground for barn owls. So I know some people mow towards the end of the growing season, but I haven't done that yet. My intention is to develop a forest garden in this area, actually, but I feel a little reluctant to cover up all these beautiful wild flowers. I get so many different species throughout the from spring through to autumn, and it's not without some sadness that I would begin mulching it and, putting food in for me. Although some of it, of course, would still provide food and shelter for wildlife. All of it, probably. But I just don't think I find the meadows so beautiful and such a source of joy that I just don't think I can do it in a hurry. I think I'm going to have to do it slowly, little pockets here and there. Put in some fruit trees and begin to mulch little areas around them, and little by little develop it and see if I can't. I don't need a lot of food really, so see if I can find a way to keep meadow in some parts of this area. So yeah, I will start slowly. I have already made a start, but today I was really just showing you the butterflies, so I will not go further today about the food forest. I'll let the butterfly have the last word.